Hello everyone, welcome to MBA Karo. Tomorrow you will be going to appear for XAT 2024, the first examination of the calendar year, and many of you might not have done well on CAT, but be assured that XAT is where a lot of students who did not do well on CAT can ace this examination. The reason is you have enough time to attempt the paper, right? It's a long paper, marathon kind of thing. You do not have to hurry, like you do not have 40 minutes to attempt something. Okay, so let's say if you are a bit slow, also that's perfectly fine. Your accuracy should be good. Okay, the level of questions definitely is going to be high, but compared to that, wherein time goes like anything, here you have sufficient time to go through the questions, pick the questions, decide. There is no sectional timing. If you are good at one of the sections, you can maximize your score and can do well. Okay, so conceptual clarity is a must. Okay, in-depth knowledge of the subject is a must, but here there is no deficit of time that you have in CAT. So let us understand that how you can do well on that and some last minute tips for the examination. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media platforms. First things first, very important to remember, carry these things: admit card plus photograph, paste your photograph in it, and also ensure that your admit card has this ZAT 2024 written. It should have a watermark. So they issued admit cards two times, and you must have received mails also from them that please use the latest admit card. Even if your center has remained the same, use the latest admit card. Do not use the old admit card. It should have the watermark ZAT 2024 in gray. It must be there. Paste your recent passport size photograph, preferably the one which you uploaded in the form itself. Carry an identity proof. It could be anything: Aadhaar card, PAN card, driving license. The admit card has the list of all those identities. Carry those thing in original. Admit card can be in color or black and white. Anything would do. There is no such specification that it has to be a color admit card. Take a pen with you, pen or pens. I would say you can take multiple, because who knows, maybe you might have to do a lot of work, rough work, and one does not work at that time. Reach the center. They have given the latest time as 1:50 p.m., but to be on the safer side, try to reach by 1:30. That should be good enough, because if you reach late, then probably you do not know the center, right? You might have to keep your bags outside and all those things. So it is better to reach on time. Try to reach by 1:30 p.m. To avoid any hassle, right? So start on time so that you reach latest by 1:30 p.m. and take a seat. All right, so these are some basic hygiene factors which you need to keep in mind for all examinations. Now, coming to the examination pattern, this year they have disclosed that it is going to be this format, right? So they did tell the amount of the duration of the three parts last year also, but this time they have given the number of questions also. Now it is back to the old pattern wherein it used to be 28, 21, and 26. In ZAT 2023, DM had 22 questions and it had 8 sets. Okay, it was like 6 into 3 plus 2 into 2. Now, if from this 21 we can think of like 7 into 3 sets, and the time is 175. It used to be 170 previously. So what I believe is like it is going to be slightly easy, like one question less, but it won't make much difference in that. Okay, so 7 sets, and VALR 26 questions, QADI 28 questions. And then you will have part 2, which is 5 minutes. So they will ask you to test the keyboard, in which you have to type the sentence: the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So I'm sure you know that all the alphabets of English are used in this sentence. That is why they ask you to type this sentence, so that you can check that each of the keys is working fine. Okay, so this is an activity of 5 minutes. Ensure that you do not use washroom during that period. Okay, some students think यार 5 मिनट है चलो washroom जाते हैं. Okay, now what happens is, if your keyboard is not working and then you later try it, and you realize while typing the essay that keyboard is not working, so you yourself will panic. So please ensure that you do this activity diligently so that you will not have problem during the essay typing. Now part 3 is GK plus essay. GK has 25 questions. I would suggest that try to finish up them in 5 minutes. I believe कि in GK you know or you do not know. Moreover, there is no negative marking. So do not overthink कि अरे इसको सोच के बाद में करेंगे. Mark all the questions. Wrap it up within 5 minutes so that you have maximum time for essay writing. So the entire section is of 30 minutes. If you finish GK in 5 or let us say 7 minutes max, then you have 23 minutes. There will be three essay topics. Okay, there are three essay topics that will be given. You need to choose one of those. So read the essay topics, take some time, think, jot down some pointers, what could be the possible points in essay writing, and then typing your essay. So it says that it should not exceed 250 words. ठीक है 250 तो बहुत ज्यादा होता है 200 भी लिख दो मतलब it's difficult to type 250 words and uh, unless you very fast typing speed, because generally our typing speed is around 10 to 12 words per minute plus you are thinking also, right? So in that case 10 to 12 word minutes is a good speed. So even if you are able to type 200 plus words, it's a decent limit. Okay, so try to limit your words. Okay, and think properly, think in a structured manner. Do not type in excess, just put relevant points into the essay. Okay, so this is going to be the pattern. Now since these two things are evaluated at a later stage, okay, this thing is evaluated at a later stage, you do not know about your essay marks. GK marks you will get, but it is used by XLRI for internal purposes, so you do not have any information about it. Now, important is this part, which is going to decide your percentile. Based on it, you will get the calls. Now, how to attempt the paper? What should be the time distribution of sectional time limit? नहीं है इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप एक ही section करते रह गए. Okay, so let's discuss this thing. Now, I believe, and you should agree to it, that quantitative aptitude is the most, like if you are good at quantitative aptitude, then it is the safest bet. Because you know what you are doing. You know you are doing it right. Okay, अगर आपके concept सही है, आपको आता है quant, आपने practice की है तो accuracy guaranteed होती है. Isn't it? So if you let's say have solved a question, option आपको दिख रहा है, answer निकल के आ रहा है, unless you do silly mistakes, that's a different thing. But if you do in a structured way, you get questions right, you gain confidence in that. So if you are pro at quantitative aptitude, many of the students are, okay, quant सबसे ज्यादा करते हैं, और उसके बाद अभी cat खराब गया होगा तो some people must have practiced very hard for that. Okay, so if you are good at quant, then what should be the time distribution? Just see, there is no hard and fast rule. It is just कि एक थोड़ा guideline दे देता हूँ कि किस तरह से attempt करना है. You have 175 minutes, okay, which is 2 hours and 55 minutes. तो पहले तो आप जब आपका क्वांट स्ट्रांग है तो स्टार्ट विद क्वांट. डेफिनेटली ऑलवेज स्टार्ट विद योर स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट सेक्शन. ठीक है, स्टार्ट विद क्वांट. सो फॉर द फर्स्ट 1 hour 60 मिनट में आपको पूरी सिर्फ क्यूए अटेम्प्ट करना है. ठीक है, और क्यूए के कितने क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर लो, लेट्स से 15 to 18. अगर आप बहुत अच्छे हो तो आप 18 क्वेश्चंस भी कर सकते हो. मे बी यू कैन इवन अटेम्प्ट 20 ऑल्सो. ठीक है, इफ यू आर वेरी फास्ट यू कैन अटेम्प्ट 20 क्वेश्चंस इन 60 मिनट्स. कैट में जब 40 क्वेश्चंस 40 मिनट्स आते हैं तो द पीपल हु स्कोर 99 परसेंटाइल प्लस दे आर एबल टू अटेम्प्ट 14-15 क्वेश्चंस इन 40 मिनट्स इटसेल्फ. ठीक है, तो हो सकता है अगर आप बहुत अच्छे हो तो 18 भी जा सकते हो, और लाइक अगर आप इवन इफ यू आर एवरेज, ठीक है, above average, but your quantitative aptitude skills are great, so maybe you can attempt at least 12. ठीक है, डिपेंडिंग अगर आप एवरेज हो, वेरी गुड, एंड इफ यू आर प्रो एट क्वांट. प्रो हो गए तो 18 तक भी कर लोगे, गारंटीड है. 60 मिनट्स में 18 हो जाते हैं. ठीक है, नाउ you are done with 60 minutes. 115 minutes are left. अब बाकी sections को ignore नहीं करना. You have to clear the cutoff in other two sections. Right? Then you give 40-45 minutes to both VALR plus DM, और हो सकता है 50-50 भी दे दो, ठीक है, there is no such rule. So now 150 minutes are done, ठीक है. 150 मिनट के बाद आप 25 मिनट्स, लास्ट में 25 मिनट्स रख के पहले आपने ये कर लिया. सो लेट्स से आपने 18 इजी इजी टू मॉडरेट वाले क्वेश्चंस आपने कर लिया, और लेट्स टेक अ कंजर्वेटिव नंबर. आप सोचोगे 18 कुछ ज्यादा हो गया. लेट्स से यू आर गुड एट क्वांट, डिसेंटली गुड, एंड यू डिड 15 क्वेश्चंस व्हिच वर इजी टू मॉडरेट in this, ठीक है. एंड नाउ देयर आर टोटल 28 क्वेश्चंस. यू डिसाइड सम DI या कुछ आपने छोड़ दिया. देन apart from only from attempting the questions, see the other questions, ठीक है. attempt तो करना ही है, plus you have to mark other questions. Now there are 13 questions remaining, and you decide that you pick 5 to 6 questions which are moderate to difficult. So इस part में आप 5 to 6 questions तो at least attempt कर लो, so that your quant is somewhere around 20. अगर आपके 20 प्लस क्वांट में बन गए और इन दोनों में भी ठीक ठाक डिसेंट स्कोर बन गया, सो यू कैन क्रैक द एग्जाम, ठीक है. अगर आपका यहाँ अच्छा बन गया प्लस decent score in the other two sections. So if you are good at quant, start with quant. First 1 hour give to quant. If you are really good, you will be able to attempt 18 questions also. Not a big deal, ठीक है. अगर DI कैलकुलेशन स्पीड अच्छी है, DI अच्छा मिल गया, इजी DI आ गया, कुछ हो गया, तो आप 18 भी टच कर सकते हो. 15 तो कर ही लोगे अगर ठीक ठाक क्वांट है तो, ठीक है. एंड देन ऑल्सो स्पॉट सम मोर क्वेश्चंस, 5-6 क्वेश्चंस एटलीस्ट, लाइक इजी मॉडरेट तो स्टार्टिंग में पिक कर लो. कीप सम क्वेश्चंस व्हिच यू रियलाइज कि मॉडरेट है, बहुत ज्यादा ऐसा भी नहीं कि नॉन डूएबल, डूएबल बट विल टेक मोर टाइम. सो कीप देम फॉर द लास्ट minutes and then scale up your score. So maybe you might be able to reach 20 plus. And in VALR plus DM try to do at least 5 sets, minimum 5 sets you should attempt, ताकि थोड़ी सर्टेनिटी रहेगी क्वेश्चन सही बन रहा है कि नहीं बन रहा है. और डीएम में भी 8 to 9 minutes per set is I think sufficient to read the case and do it, ठीक है. देखो उसमें सही गलत उनके रिस्पॉन्स शीट से ही पता चलता है, बट यस यू कैन 8 to 9 minute पर DM set is sufficient. अगर इतनी स्पीड नहीं है तो it is a problem, but 8 to 9 minutes. So if you are able to do 5 sets, 15 questions, maybe at least 10 सही हो गए, तो 8 like 8 plus marks you get there. VLR also pick some RC or vocab questions or grammar questions which you feel are doable. Attempt those questions. अब कुछ 12-15 question उसमें, so that like you get around 20. You feel safe in quant कि आपका quant में अच्छा जाएगा, बाकी दो section में average बन जाएगा. Now let's say you are weak in quantitative aptitude, good in the other two sections. Okay. Now in that case, I would say that don't start with quant. You can start with the DM or VA. Okay. You can start with either of them. DM is interesting to do. If you have read DM, practiced DM, you know कि DM में करना क्या होता है, ठीक है. How to think, what are some of the basic hygiene factors you need to follow. So allow 45 to 50 minutes per section, ठीक है. आराम से attempt करो. In that case, try to attempt at least 6, or I mean you can do 6 or 7 sets. सारे के सारे attempt कर सकते हो, ठीक है. In VALR also try to attempt somewhere around 18 plus questions. Okay, so even if you dedicate 50 minutes to both these sections, good enough. So 100 minutes, okay, ठीक है. Then in QA you can dedicate let's say 55 to 60 minutes, और round off लेके चलते हैं 60 minutes. Now 60 minutes you dedicate and you target. आपने कहा कि ठीक है मैं 12 ही क्वेश्चन करता हूँ, 12 questions are good enough. Pick those 12 questions. Ensure that you are accurate about those questions. Okay. now in that case, if you are done with 160 minutes, you are left with 15 minutes. Now in these 15 minutes, decide कि DM का एक और सेट, लेट्स से आपने DM के 6 सेट किए थे, DM का एक सेट प्लस वर्बल. So these are all situation based things. This is what the decision making is in the live environment, ठीक है. So there is no hard and fast thing. That is why I always say कि कोई strict mindset के साथ नहीं जाना चाहिए. You should play according to the paper. पेपर बहुत इजी आ गया तो धड़ाधड़ कर सकते हो. लेट्स से quant easy आ जाएगा. So if a person like me who is strong at quant will thrash quant in the first hour, like in 70 75 minutes I'll completely complete the quant section and then move on to the other two sections. Okay. Let us say quant बहुत difficult आ गया, so at like 45 minutes I will realize that quant is not doable in this, let me score in the other two sections. So ये आपका डायनेमिक चलना चाहिए. एग्जाम, कोई भी एग्जाम क्रैक करना होता है उसमें यही है कि रियल टाइम आपको देखना होता है कि कैसा पेपर आ रहा है. इफ इट इज डिफिकल्ट, लेट अस से यू हैव कॉन्फिडेंस इन क्वांट, you decided that you will attempt 15 questions, but then you realize the questions are more difficult this time, so maybe you attempt just 10 questions and then you realize that other two sections are more doable, so go for them. So it is decision making in the real time environment which which you should be working on. So if you're weak in quant, start with DM or VLR, give them 50 minutes at least, then in 60 minutes try to attempt 12 questions in quant, because कट ऑफ के लिए तो आपको अराउंड 8 9 का स्कोर चाहिए होगा, दैट जनरली इज द कट ऑफ. सो अटेम्प्ट देम एंड देन रेस्ट ऑफ द 15 मिनट्स यू कैन डिसाइड कि क्वांट में अगर आप एक दो और गेन कर सकते हो, ग्रेट. इफ यू वांट टू स्विच टू वन अनफिनिश्ड डीएम सेट और सम वर्बल क्वेश्चंस, you can go to them. Okay, now in case there are incorrect questions, what happens in case of incorrect questions? So they are scrapped by ZAT and people get marks for those questions. ठीक है, अगर आपको कहीं कहीं भी आइडेंटिफाई हो जा रहा है कि इनकरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, डोंट ब्रेक योर हेड ऑन इट, उस पर बहुत ज्यादा जोर डालने की जरूरत नहीं. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि गलत है, जस्ट अवॉइड इट, बिकॉज मार्क्स आर गिवन फॉर इनकरेक्ट क्वेश्चन. दैट इज द केस एवरी ईयर. कभी कभी ऐसे हो जाता है, गलतियां हो जाती है, दे मार्क्स टू ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स. ओके, सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दोस इनकरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस. So I wish you all the best for ZAT 2024. If you're prepared well, if you play smart in this exam, you can excel in the exam and come out with flying colors. So tomorrow the examination is from 2 to 5:30 p.m. At 5:30 p.m. I'll be doing the exam analysis live from the examination center, and then we shall have a question discussion session at 9 p.m. wherein I'll be discussing some of the questions that were asked in the examination. So just ensure that you take proper rest before the examination. Do not panic during the exam. There is enough time in the examination. 175 minutes plus 35. So it's a 3.5 paper exam, 3.5 hour exam. So stay calm and stay focused for that long duration. For that you need proper rest. अभी proper rest नहीं लोगे तो exam के time पे नींद आ रही होगी. So and be well prepared for it. Carry all the essentials, reach the test center on time, and give your best on the examination. So wish you all the best.